Welcome to the Fans Ed Sports Show. But thank God I'm not a Florida fan. Just out here looking trash.
People called me crazy for saying they had 6 losable games on their schedule.
That's where I picked y'all preseason.
So I don't know how, but somehow they got some excitement around their program right now.
Welcome to the Fans Ed Sports Show, hosted by your boys Cleveland Mike and your boy Terry from College Football Stop, man. Terry, how are you doing this evening, man?
I'm doing great, brother. How you doing, man?
Man, I'm hanging tough, man. You know, we got one more game left of college football. So that does make me sad, man, because college football is my favorite sport. Better than the NFL, man. I like college football, man. I feel like it's less rigged. I mean, the refs do try to insert themselves, but it's definitely less rigged than the NFL for sure.
I think you're probably right. NFL be, pro sports, man. They be doing that funny stuff with the betting.
Big facts. They definitely do, man. But before we get started, we appreciate y'all for pulling up, man. Without you all, this channel is not what it is at Best Damn Media. So again, we appreciate y'all. Make sure you hit the like button. If you're watching on YouTube, on Twitter, make sure you hit the like and retweet button as well. And send this to your friends. Post this in your group chats, especially if you're a Notre Dame fan. Have y'all fans come over here and let's talk it out in the chat, man. I know Buckeye fans will be live in the chat all the time. So Notre Dame, y'all make sure y'all represent, man. But Terry, man, we got some news going on since the last time we have talked. Some transfer portal news going on, man. I want to start off with John Tay Cook. You know, it was reported he was going to Washington. All of a sudden, they have mutually parted ways. I figure if they mutually parted ways by now, we would have heard where he's landing. Do you think he was kicked off the team? Do you think that those rumors are true or what?
I mean, it sounds like it, bro. I don't really know enough about that to talk on that man's name. You know what I mean? But I mean, it sounds like it for real. Like he's, I know, like the Texas. Wasn't he at Texas before? I'm not wrong, right?
Yeah.
So I know
Texas,
the Texas,
the report was he was kicked off of that program for sure.
Right, and I know the people that we know that are like Texas fans kind of said that he has some character issues or whatever. They didn't go into details about it. So I'll be honest, I think that's what happened, Mike, but I'm not going to comment on it until I hear more, bro, because I'm curious. I want to know what happened, man. Like, I mean, you would think like the kid can't be that bad of a person. Like, what could you possibly do when you ain't even start practicing with the team or nothing? Did he just transfer there?
Yeah, I mean, it was reported he just got there, and I don't even think it lasted even a month.
Crazy.
Before all of that happened. So
yeah,
that is crazy. And then you got Carson Beck to Miami. They are posting everything. Highest paid player in college football. He's going to be coming off of a really crazy injury, man. So I don't think that he's going to be practicing with the team in spring, which we know as Buckeye fans, like even going through a quarterback battle, how much that can affect chemistry, with even just fall camp. So, I mean, Miami, they're losing a lot of pieces, losing one of their Heisman finalists, losing, their top wide receiver in Restrepo. So we'll see. They're expecting Carson Beck to bring them back to the promised land. So.
I just don't see it, man. Like, I think he'll go down there. I think they'll maybe – they'll probably lose 4 games, 5 games, something like, like they won't have a terrible season, but they're not going to have a great season with Carson Beck as their quarterback. I just think that now, unless Carson Beck gets out of Georgia and maybe kind of becomes his own person and does his own thing, like, I mean, you've seen like Kyle McCord go from Ohio State. He goes over to Syracuse, not so much pressure. And he just kind of balled out over there. You could see something like that, but I just don't think Beck is that talented. I think Cam Ward was the perfect quarterback to go to Miami because Cam Ward was like almost like bigger than Miami. You know what I mean? Like Cam Ward was Cam Ward. And everyone knows Cam Ward. He's tied with like Shador and all that stuff.
Right.
And Carson Beck don't have – I mean, I guess he's tied to the Cavender girl. So, I mean – maybe there's something there. I don't know. Miami's just trying to Maybe they're trying to up their viewership the Travis Kelce way.
If you say so, man. I mean, I don't know. There are concerns about this, them and Carson Beck, but we'll see. Here's the thing. I felt like he was a better quarterback when he had weapons at Georgia. And a lot of times what we saw is Georgia's skill guys dropping key passes all the time. Dude. So, Carson Beck had his mistakes, but was he making those mistakes because he was pressing too hard because his wide receivers weren't doing much? Sometimes being comfortable allows you to play within the game and not make those mistakes. But when it's not happening and it should be happening.
Yeah, and I made the comment about that, Mike, that you got to remember what Carson Beck was. Like, Carson Beck came into the season supposed to be like the first quarterback off the board, Heisman front runner. And if you look at Georgia's offense, what did they have last year that they didn't have this year? They had Brock Bowers. They had that real receiving threat, which every quarterback needs, dude. No quarterback is going to be a Heisman level quarterback without like real big time receiver threats. It's just it's not realistic. So I don't know, man. If they put some talent around him, it might be pretty good. But that Miami team had a lot more issues than their offense. So I mean,
right.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, definitely. Miami fired their defensive coordinator, so they're expecting some return on that. I'm not seeing it in the first year. I don't see a major turn, but it is the ACC, so you never know. That's
also true.
Yeah, I did go ahead and put a poll in the chat. Let us know, who do you have, Ohio State or Notre Dame?
Oh boy!
So let us know, and we will let y'all know what the poll decides on YouTube. And with that, let's go ahead and talk about some people have declared for the NFL draft, man, and it keeps happening. I mean, obviously, season's over with. After Ohio State beats you, you're gonna declare for the draft. But there, someone who didn't declare for the draft, Drew Aller, he's returning. It looks like Nicholas Singleton, he's also returning. Talk about those two, and because it looks like Penn State is trying to get everybody back and do the same thing that Ohio State did.
So, did Drew Aller announce that he was returning?
I believe so. I believe.
I never seen that, but I just assumed he was. I mean, he doesn't really need to announce it. He just needs to just return it and not say nothing. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
I don't think he needs to say anything either. Not after that last performance.
But let's be fair, there was some guys on Ohio State's team last year that didn't need to announce that did, so it's fine. I like Drew Aller. I think he's talented, but hey man, Penn State's trying to do it, bro, and they can. But can James Franklin do it? I don't know, dude. I'm not sure. I'm never going to be or have faith in James Franklin to win a big game ever again, because I picked him as like my upset of the week and they let me down. And once you let me down on the upset of the week, it's over for you. You're cooked. So I can't do it. I just expect them to be the same old Penn State, bro. I mean,
dang, man,
they look a little bit older. I don't know.
Well, after Ohio State takes down Quinn Ewers in beautiful fashion, Jack Sawyer, former traveling roommate, Quinn Ewers goes ahead and declares for the draft. A lot of people was talking about, hey, he's going to hit the portal, all of this stuff. But I was watching the podcast Ari on On3, and he was just talking about it. He never got the feel that Quinn was going to be the type where he wanted to stay any extra years in college. It looked like he already had a plan to just, hey, I'm going to do this. This is mostly about business, and I mean, I was looking it up. I was looking to see, did Quinn Ewers graduate? And I didn't see that Quinn Ewers graduated either.
So he didn't graduate in his time at Texas?
So, I mean, my thing is, this was all business. Quinn Ewers' whole thing, his family, everything has been business-like. So I kind of had to agree with the guys when they was talking about it on their show.
Yeah, but Mike, it would have been cool as hell if Quinn Ewers hit that portal and Ohio State was interested. Listen, I was for it. I was 100% for it. I'm like, listen, if this kid wants to come and be our quarterback for 1 year, I've always been against the 1 year stopgap quarterbacks. You know that. But Will Howard changed my mind, man. I gotta respect it. I mean,
I'm going to tell you, here's the thing. Let's say that if the only school that he wanted to go to was Ohio State, here's why you can't do it. The way the game ended. I
don't care about that. His right tackle got his ass whooped. That's what that was. That wasn't his fault.
You don't care about it. But here's the thing. Most guys don't try to go back. They still want to have some type of, connection. Like Joe Burrow didn't throw no shade at Ohio State or anything like that. I feel like, he still claims Ohio State and that. Their fans would not allow Quinn to claim Texas anymore. They will come out, bro. We know these Texas fans. They will say he threw the game on purpose because he was going to Ohio State anyways. He knew it before the game.
I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying, man.
So what I'm saying is his legacy that he has built in Texas. I feel like if he had came to Ohio State, it would have been tarnished.
I agree with you. Man. Especially because he's known as like, honestly, one of the better quarterbacks to come through Texas already. I just seen a list, I think, before I got on here, and it was like Vince Young, Colt McCoy, and then Quinn. And that was like their top three that they've, at least from in the BCS era, I think is what it was. So, I mean, I get what you're saying with that.
Yeah. And here's something that's concerning for me, right? Because I saw the defensive guy, I think the one Taffy, who was screaming in the hallway after the game.
That was a sick video, bro.
Yeah,
that video. I don't know how to feel about that video, Mike. My human side had to appeal to that shit. I'm like, bro.
It's like in 1 minute, I hate that somebody like had that video for him.
Yeah.
But after all the crap that I done listened to these SEC and these Texas fans just spew about Ohio State for the past years, and now we finally faced them. Nah, I didn't care, bro. I was laughing at it.
I was too.
It is what it is, bro. Yeah.
It was a raw moment, bro. But you got to be real. It was a raw moment and whatever.
Yeah, for sure. But here's my concern, right? Like he returns and then you think, oh, they're going to run it back, right? They could possibly with Arch, who they're saying, just wait till we get Arch in there. Wait till we get Arch in there. But then Golden leaves, your top wide receiver, and then probably your number 2, number 3 wide receiver, and Bond, he's leaving as well. Now, I remember, when CJ Stroud was coming up, there was older guys who wanted to play with CJ Stroud. They knew, hey, this guy can elevate my draft stock if I just come back one more year. Why do these guys not feel that way about Arch? Do they just feel like they've done anything? Because I feel like Bond was a little bit underwhelming this year. I thought he was going to be wide receiver 1, but it ended up being Golden.
I mean, I don't know what Texas's wide receiver room looks like behind those guys. So
Ryan Wingo.
I know they have Wingo. That's like your one.
Jamie French coming in.
Jamie French
is going to be a true freshman.
I don't know, bro. That's tough. Maybe they got somebody lined up in the portal. I don't know. It don't make sense. But at the same time, it's like we don't really know what Arch is going to be. You know what I mean? Like maybe those guys don't think that they can have a higher ceiling. Like I mean, right. It all just depends, bro. There's a lot that goes into that. You know what I mean? Like, I can think back to like Ohio State, right? You mentioned guys wanting to come back to play with CJ Stroud. So like Chris Olave wanted to come back to get 1 year of Stroud, and he wanted to elevate his career, which he did, and now he's balling in the NFL. Like that's cool.
JSN.
JSN, yes, exactly. But the thing is Arch CJ Stroud in their eyes. You know what I mean? Like they seen that in practice.
That's what I'm saying. But the Texas fans and everybody in the media, everybody's telling us he's the next coming to Jesus Christ. That's why I'm saying I don't know. I'm just grabbing a tea leaf, and it's something that I'm going to be watching for.
We got to see him, Mike.
Yeah.
You
I
gotta
mean,
see
last
him, bro.
time we seen him, man, he paid a ransom. So that's all I know.
Hey, like you keep saying, somebody got to pay the ransom. It was definitely him in that game. I
Facts,
would see
man.
Texas fans talking about like, why didn't we just put Arch in and run the ball? It's like, bro, Arch was in concussion protocol. You can't put him in the game.
Yeah.
He was out.
Exactly.
You ain't see him on
Exactly.
the yeah. He looked like he wanted to get up.
Yeah. So, as you was talking about one of the games that you picked as an upset, didn't happen as an upset, man. And Notre Dame came out victorious against Penn State.
Yeah.
Tell me your thoughts on that game.
Yeah, honestly, James Franklin does what James Franklin does in those types of games. And I'm going to spin that back and not even try to take that away from Notre Dame, because this is also how Notre Dame likes to win. Mm-hmm. Notre Dame likes to win. And I don't say they like to win, but what I mean? This is how they win their big games, dude. They're going to muddy the game up. They're going to string together, one good quarter where they score 17 or 20 points. And then they're going to just choke you out from that point on. That's what they did to Penn State. I mean, I honestly figured the game would come down to like a last drive. And I've always been a big Drew Aller fan. So when I made the pick, I sided with Drew Aller. I'm like, look, it's time for Drew Aller to go out here and make a name for himself. I know they don't have big time wide receivers, but a well-placed ball can help that. You know what I mean? And I've seen him do it against us. Also, there's like a mental block for James Franklin with Ohio State. That's not Drew Aller's fault. So I thought maybe they'll go out and take care of business. But hey, man, credit to Notre Dame, dude. They made it happen. And ultimately, you got to win the games that they put in front of you. And that's what they've been doing. You know what I mean? Like I think that they probably should get more credit for beating Georgia than Penn State, just because Penn State is what they are. Like, no one really expected Penn State to go on a playoff run, even knowing that they had one of the weakest potential runs to go. You know what I mean? They played Boise State and who did they play?
I don't know, Terry. I can't say that because I thought that they would get to the playoffs. I thought that they would be a playoff team this year because I felt like they were going to be one of the top 3 teams in the Big Ten.
No, year. I agree. I meant like a run in the playoffs. Making it to the
after
Natty,
we saw where their bracket was, I definitely thought that they was gonna make a run for sure. Where their bracket was,
Anyway, all I'm saying, bro, again, credit to Notre Dame for beating Penn State. I mean, maybe I'm being a little bit of a hater, but like, it's Penn State, dude. For an Ohio State fan, like, that's just somebody that we beat every year. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
It's usually a close game. It's somebody that we beat every year. So credit to Notre Dame for taking care of business there. But I mean, again, maybe I'm being a hater, but I don't. It's not something crazy to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think Notre Dame caps off that game against Penn State, I believe 4-0 against the Big Ten teams that they have faced this year. I believe Penn State's one of them. Indiana's one of them. USC is one of them, and you said Purdue as well. Yeah. So, 4 straight wins. Hopefully, the Buckeyes don't make it another one. In that game, man, like you said, Notre Dame wanted to just go ahead and play defense. That's how they won the game. They like to keep the game tight. And Drew Aller, man, I don't know what that was. Him talking about he was just trying to throw it in the dirt. No, Drew, like, come on, bro.
You didn't even look like that, Mike.
Yeah, bro, Drew, like, come on, man. I don't know what that was, but hey, shout out to Notre Dame. They won it. A lot of people are not happy about it. But hey, the North is here, man. Hey, we told folks the North was coming, and they didn't believe it. So shout out Notre Dame getting a dub against Penn State. And I also want to say that Jeremiah Love looked relatively more healthy than I thought that he was going into that game. So that was definitely a turning point.
And I said on this show last week, Mike, Jeremiah Love is a superstar. Like, he's a superstar. He's the one player on their team that I consider a superstar. They have, I know they have Xavier Watts at safety, some young talent at corner and all that good stuff. But if you're talking about like a legit superstar, Jeremiah Love is that guy. And I mean, that does worry me, with this game coming up. You've seen it in that Penn State game. I mean, there's like the clip that was spreading all over Twitter and stuff where he broke like 6 tackles to get into the end zone on that one play. It's like, that's just what superstars do, bro. They make plays, you know what I mean? In big time moments, you got to be ready to fight that.
Facts. He definitely was making big time plays, man. And Ohio State takes on Texas, man. They basically bracket coverage Jeremiah, took Jeremiah out. Jeremiah was mostly used as a decoy in that game. Cardinell ends up as the leading receiver. He does drop a touchdown, but Buckeyes still scored on that drive. So it did not impact them too much. But, I mean, I think that the Buckeyes, Jack Sawyer making that play, and I know a lot of people, just keep talking about that play and keep bringing up the Team Up North game. And I'm like, everybody's keep bringing it up. Nobody's talking about the fact that Jack said, screw the offense. I'm scoring this mug this time. I'm the one who gonna leave no doubt. Shout out to Jack Sawyer, man. And one thing that we have talked about in spaces, Terry, and group chats and everything is the difference in the Ohio players, man. It just reminds me of things like when we were fighting in the national championship against Miami and Maurice Clarett. Even though we turned the ball over, the fight was not out of him. He went and got the ball right back, right? Hey, we still got a fighting chance. And that's what Jack Sawyer went ahead and did in that game. That was a crucial point. But that's what I've always felt about the Ohio guys. If you're going to win a championship, you have to have the core of Ohio guys, man, who can step up like that. Because when you want to talk about it just means more, that's who it just means more to.
Yep. I agree with you, man. You get a core of Ohio guys, and then you add in superstars from around the country, and you get a team that can go win a national championship. And just, dude, that moment honestly happening for Jack Sawyer is just crazy. Like, most people outside of the Ohio State fan base are not even going to know shit about like Jack and him kind of being Ryan Day's first recruit pretty much. And him deciding to come back, being the first guy, the leader of the charge who decided to come back for this year. And then like the story is not just up and up and up. They come out, they lose to Michigan. He gets an interception that like really would be the most legendary play in Ohio State history if Ohio State could just go down the field and get a field goal to win the game. You know what I mean? And for all that to come full circle, for him to do it in this game and in that moment is just crazy, bro. Like you really can't put a label on it. You know what I mean? Like it's going to get a name. It's like the 85 yards to the heart of the South. Somebody's going to come up with a cool name for it. Ohio State will or something. And that'll be what it's labeled. But that name's not going to tell the story of Jack Sawyer. You know what I mean? Like this, I don't know. It's dope,
not going to tell all the behind the scenes. And that's what Ryan Day has talked about, And to be honest, we might as well just go ahead, get into the game that everybody wants to talk about.
That's what I'm trying to talk about.
Ohio State versus Notre Dame. Both of these teams punched their ticket to the national championship game. SEC fans and Lane Kiffin are not happy. Paul Feinbaum and the SEC ESPN network, not happy. Their investment has taken a fall. 2 years in a row, there will not be an SEC team in the national championship. The North is here. We tried to tell them. Winter was coming. Winter is coming. And we'll see if winter is here to stay. But, Ohio State, Notre Dame in this game, like we were saying, one thing that Ryan Day has been saying to this team, you guys have a story to be told. Don't nobody want to hear that story if you don't punch that ticket and win that national championship game.
Hey, Ryan Day been talking different, Mike. He been talking a little different. And I'm worried because, listen, before we get into this actual game farther, right, there is like rumors out there about Ryan Day going to the NFL and Jim Knowles going to Oklahoma. Should we address this? Should we talk about that before we get into this game?
I mean, if you want to, we can. I don't think. Maybe we could talk about it after the game. We can talk about it
That's
after.
Fine. That's fine, bro. Let's lock in on this game. So, man, just Dude, this game, I'm excited, Mike. I'm super excited. Ryan Day's been moving different, bro. Like you said, the things he's been saying, and he had a press conference today, and the reporter asked him questions, and Ryan Day responded back to them by basically saying, "Look, we don't have time to think about that right now." Multiple times. This was just one question. Multiple questions they asked him about um, being a Ohio State coach that gets a chance to coach in a Natty and like just all kinds of shit they were asking him about, right? And he's like, we don't really got time to worry about that. He's like, we could look into that like in a couple weeks, but right now we got to focus on this game. And I think I love that from Ryan Day, bro. And another thing you said too was that he's been a lot more involved with the offensive game plan in the playoffs. So that kind of makes me excited just because Ryan Day's been balling. You know, you've noticed it in the play calling. And in the just the overall game plan. But listen, I'm about to pass it off to you, Mike. I don't want to rant about Ryan Day. I'm trying to talk about this Notre Dame game, bro.
Yeah, I mean,
let me know what you think, man.
Yeah, what you were saying about Ryan Day is definitely accurate, and I just think that it has something to do with the team having that team meeting. Maybe I've been talking about him needing therapy, and maybe that was the therapy that he needed. But both of these teams, two of the top defenses in the country right here. I mean, you could put Texas right there in the top three. Also, Notre Dame, top scoring defense as well, right up there with Ohio State. So, are we looking at another defensive game going into this? What stylistic game are you expecting in this game? Let's start there.
Man, it's tough to say that, bro, because like I think that there's a way that Notre Dame wants the game to play out, but I think there's a way that I think the game is actually going to play out. I really think Ohio State's a lot better than Notre Dame, bro. I'm gonna be honest with you. Like that, there's no other way that I could put it. I'm not trying to be rude or disrespectful. Like they did what they had to do to get here. I personally think that every team we've played in the playoffs so far would have made it to the Natty if they had Notre Dame's bracket. Every single team that we played in the playoffs would have made the Natty if they had Notre Dame's bracket. And I think that their offense is not going to be able to do nothing on our defense, bro. And the way that Ryan Day and Chip Kelly have been scheming things up recently, it's like since the playoffs, really all year, but especially since the playoffs, we've been taking more shots. We've been willing to go a little bit faster, not purposely slowing the game down. I think that Ohio State's going to score, and if Notre Dame's not able to score on Ohio State, the game's going to get ugly. So that's kind of how I see it playing out. If they're able to score on Ohio State, then we might get into like a mini shootout. And that's not going to be like 50-50, but something like 30-30. But I don't see that happening, bro. Like I just don't.
Yeah. So in our previous game, right, I felt Texas would be able to put up more points than what they did, right? And everybody keeps talking about, hey, Ohio State's defense, they're normally holding opponents under 20. I think the only opponent that has gotten over 20 against Ohio State in the playoffs has been Oregon, but they scored on our backups. So, I mean, here's my thing is I kept doubting our defense. Like somebody's going to score over 20, somebody's going to score, right? I just have not seen it. Now, I think that this game can go and play out two ways. I think that this game can play out, and I think it all depends on how Notre Dame plays defense, right? I feel like if they play defense the way that they have been playing maybe the past 2 years against Ohio State, that could possibly slow Ohio State down. But the good thing about that, like I have been telling you all week to week, is Ohio State just went up against that, right? Ohio State just went up against the too high safety, cover two. So now that's something that they can work against.
You gotta have the guys to do that too.
Huh?
So you gotta have the guys to do that too.
Yeah. Also, I feel like if Notre Dame comes out because they've been like 85% man cover one. If they come out and do that, I feel like the game will be over probably by second quarter, going into halftime, bro.
That's really what I think is going to happen. Like, I really do. Like,
You
I'm not
really
trying to
think
be
they're gonna play man?
They're going to have to play man, bro. That's what they do. But they're not going to play man every single time. But when they do, Ohio State's going to take advantage of that. And also, like, to ask that question is to say that if they don't play man, Ohio State's not going to move the ball down the field or not going to score. Like, if they don't play man, we're still going to score.
No,
like,
I know that, but my thing is I guess what I'm saying is if they play man, I see more explosives. Is what I'm saying.
Yes,
right?
100%.
But with the going against the cover two, I don't feel like it's going to be more explosives going up against the cover two defense because they do tackle well. You know, they rally around the ball, things like that, and they will like to keep things in front of them if they play that. That's how they play this.
No, I get what you're saying. Yeah, I get what you're saying. I don't think like philosophically they can completely change what they're doing. And they're really just going to have to man up and go athlete for athlete with Ohio State. I think obviously they're going to mix in some some zone. They're going to have to mix it in. They always do already. And they can make some plays. They really got to man up and make some plays, bro. It's going to have to be like you said, regardless of whether you're in zone or not. Like their defense has to create some turnovers for this game to be close, in my opinion, right? So they're gonna have to man up and make plays, and whether that be a man coverage zone, it don't matter. Like athlete for athlete, they're gonna have to go with Ohio State.
Right. And so I was listening to Carnell Tate's interview today, right? And one thing that Ohio State went into the Texas game thinking is that they were going to trust in their corners and just play the man.
Yeah, I seen Carnell Tate say
that. And that's not what they ended up doing. So I really hope that as an offense, we are ready for both and hoping to expect to see both and have a game plan for both, and that we identify that because Golden is a really good defensive coordinator. He brings that NFL style and has that NFL smarts, and he's played us 2 years in a row. But here's the thing. They are going up against a different offense and defense. We will speak about that more. Right now, I want to talk about, while we got Notre Dame fans in here, Terry, what do you see the keys of success for Notre Dame? What do they have to do in this game? Give me two of them for you.
Okay. All right, two of them for me. I'm just going to stick on offense. We're talking about defense in a minute, right? Okay. All right, so for Notre Dame, for their defense against Ohio State's offense, one, they have to stop the run. That's and I know that's very simple and basic, but with Ohio State, it truly is that way. Ohio State is going to try to throw to open up the run game on you, but I promise you, don't let them do that because once that run game is opened up, the game is over at that point.
Right.
And that's just how it is. And then the other thing that they're going to have to do is they got to come in a game. They need to have a game plan for JJ, specifically a game plan for Jeremiah Smith, and basically make Will Howard beat you by throwing the ball either to the running back out of the backfield, to G. Scott, to Emeka, or to Carnell. That's got to be the game plan. I don't know how to do it. Obviously, Texas did some of that, but that should be their game plan on defense, in my opinion.
All right. So on defense, man, I think what you have to do is you have to slow Ohio State's defense down. You need to get Ohio State's defense in third and long situations. I think that's what you're going to have to do. You're going to have to keep everything in front of you and come up and rally to the ball. I think that's the way, because if you're able to slow Ohio State's defense down and allow them to beat themselves, make them, because long drives, they're more susceptible to a false start, more susceptible maybe to a holding, things like that. You're going to have to do that and hope that Ohio State, gets penalties, because in the Texas game, that's what was holding Ohio State back a lot in those games, was being in those third and longs. So Notre Dame is going to have to be able to do that way that they can stay in the game. Another thing that they're going to have to do on the defensive side of the ball is create turnovers. That has been their key to success every time that they have won a game, and they're going to have to be consistent in doing it in this game as well. So Terry, we've talked about their keys to success on the defensive side of the ball. Let's talk about Notre Dame's keys to success on the offensive side of the ball.
Okay. Notre Dame's keys, dude, this is a tough one because this is really where I think the game's going to be won. Ohio State's defense on the field. For Notre Dame, I think for them to get off on Ohio State, they're going to have to throw the ball downfield, which is something I know they don't do a ton, but they're going to have to do it. They're going to have to break some tendencies if they want to move the ball on Ohio State. They're going to have to throw the ball downfield to at least back up, some of that coverage. You can't let Ohio State know that their corners are strapping you up and then come up on the run, because it doesn't matter what you do in the run game at that point. And then the other thing is Notre Dame's offensive line needs to have the best game that they've had all year, because the Ohio State defensive line is just cooking right now. And I know that they have some injuries on their offensive line. I'm not even going to count them out, bro, because I'm big on don't tell me a player is trash if we haven't seen him to know that he's trash. So maybe they got a guy just sitting there that's ready to go. Their offensive line needs to have a big time game for sure.
So my thing is the way Notre Dame is going to be able to be successful is, like I was saying on the defense side, when they get those turnovers, they have to capitalize off of those turnovers and go ahead and score. I think that they're going to have to go ahead and I put this in the group chat. I don't know if you saw it, Terry, but I say that I feel like this is going to have to be a Rutgers style game for Notre Dame. Yeah. And it's going to have to come with some trick plays. You're going to have to catch Ohio State off guard with something, because this defense has been, and to be honest, I've seen teams try to catch them with some trick stuff, and it doesn't even always work. So, but I feel like you're going to have to do something. You're going to have to come up with some gimmick plays. And then also, Riley Leonard, he has been effective. I think that Ohio State's defense game plan is kind of going to be maybe like Oregon a little bit. Have Cody Simon spy Riley Leonard. Riley Leonard is going to have to make Cody Simon miss multiple times. He's going to have to get away from that tackle as well. Now, we've seen Riley Leonard. He's made a couple guys miss, juked a couple guys out of his socks. I think it was the Indiana game. It looked like they had four guys was about to close in on him, and he just flipped up out the pocket and was able to make a play. So he does have that athletic ability. He's going to have to put that on display all game long.
Yeah, because that defensive line's really been getting after him. I was going to say, I don't think he's like a big-time scrambler. I think they do more design runs with him, like zone reads and stuff. But now that I realize what play you were talking about, I know exactly what you're referring to. Mm-hmm. And I mean, he's going to have to do that, dude. Like you said, like he's going to have to make plays, big. He's going to have to be a baller. Put it that way. In this game, he's going to have to really be a baller for them to be in the game.
Yeah, and like Doug said, Leonard is a good athlete. I've seen the dude highlight tape of him playing basketball. Guy is definitely an athlete. So, like you said, he got to go out there and basically be the JT Barrett for the Notre Dame, man. And then also when he's throwing the ball, he has to be able to hit his targets and be accurate. That's one thing that he's going to have to do. Now, what everybody and most of the people came here for, and most of our channel, they wanted to know what are the keys to success for Ohio State, man. So we talked about defense first with Notre Dame, so we might as well go defense first with Ohio State. So what are the keys to success for Ohio State on defense?
Yeah, so for me, dude, it's going to be muddy up the middle, which they've been doing since Jim Knowles has kind of been running his own thing. It's a term that I've used on this channel before, spill and kill. And that's what we like to do now with our trying to stop the run, which I think is going to really give Notre Dame some problems because basically it's going to take away Riley Leonard being able to run the ball. If you're playing spill and kill, like Riley Leonard is not bouncing something outside after starting to take it up the middle, bouncing outside to to make a play. So Ohio State's D-line just needs to muddy everything up in the middle so that way kind of take away the run game with Riley Leonard and with Jeremiah Love. And then I want to see this team create some turnovers, man. Riley Leonard is susceptible to turning the ball over.
Right.
And I think that Ohio State's going to be able to put them in a position where they kind of have to throw the ball a little bit in this game. So I want to see some turnovers, man. I want to see one from our guy Jermaine.
Yeah, I definitely want to see some turnovers in this game, man. I'll say this. I think and Johnny, you're kind of right about this, what you said, man. Because I said this, I believe I was either on the phone or talking to someone. But one thing that Ohio State doesn't want to do is be allowing Notre Dame to get in third and shorts. You cannot do that, because I do think that they will try to be like that team up north, and they're going to go for it on third and shorts or even fourth and shorts. So here's the thing. You can get them in a 3rd and 3. It's not going to be good enough. You can get them in a 3rd and 4. It's not going to be good enough. You need to get Notre Dame in 3rd and longs, forcing them to pass the ball and not get any yardage to get a first down, man. So I think that's definitely one of the keys of success for Ohio State on defense, is not allowing them to get in 3rd and 4th and short situations, because I do feel like Notre Dame feels they have to win it. And I'll tell you this, another key for success for Ohio State's defense is tackling. They have to tackle. I watched this man, Jeremiah Love. You cannot throw a shoulder at this man. You have to wrap up. And sometimes I've seen Ohio State players like to throw that shoulder. Is not going to work on this guy. Might have worked on other guys. It's not going to work on him. So definitely are going to have to wrap up tackling, and not just him, just everybody, because when Denzel Burke, he didn't wrap up, didn't follow through or whatever, and guy makes a big play. We have to wrap up tackling. That's definitely going to be something for Ohio State on the defensive side of the ball. Terry.
Yeah, one more thing on that, Mike. Another key I think is going to be Sonny Styles, man. I need Sonny Styles to have a big time game in this game. I was just talking to my boys about this earlier, and Sonny Styles is going to be put in some positions in this game where he has to guard a running back. And Notre Dame does have, like, not Jeremiah Love. They do have another running back on that team that's pretty good catching the ball out of the backfield, and they're willing to throw it to him. So I forget his name. I'm sorry. I don't study the names, but I just watch the guys on the field. But he's very good at that. And we saw Sonny get caught in that one time. Now, Jim Knowles did come out and say that was on him. He said he got too aggressive, whatever. But Sonny was playing man the one time and just got beat. So I need to see a big time game out of Sonny Styles in this game.
Yeah, and to be honest, I don't really want Sonny on him. What I would like to see Jim Knowles figure out a way how to get either Lathan or Jordan Hancock on him. So that way you don't have to put Sonny in situations like that. So if we're able to do that, I think on the defensive side of the ball, we'll be fine. But yeah, Sonny was the fish in the Texas game. So hopefully he is not the fish in this game. Ohio State on the offensive side of the ball. Terry, what does Ohio State and Will Howard need to do?
Man, I think Will Howard just needs to keep playing confident how he has been. That's kind of my biggest thing with him, bro. Like, I need you to come out here and look, if they got one-on-one with JJ on the outside, if they do it, throw that bitch. Throw it. Let him go out there and win the game for you. Why not? Let him make you some NFL money. Why not, man? Throw that bitch out there. So I need to see Will Howard come out confident from the jump and just be ready to go in this game. And then number 2, I need to see our run game get cooking a little bit, man. I think Trey has been like just dominant in the playoffs so far. And honestly, like without numbers, if you're just watching the games, Quinshon Judkins has been just as good as Trey in the playoffs. You know, Trey has the numbers because he's housing some, and you know, obviously he's a home run threat at any time. But QJ has been balling in these playoffs too, and he's been kind of making people miss in a phone booth and getting extra yards and getting the tough yards that Ohio State needs. So I need to see that run game get cooking here, because Notre Dame's defense is that's kind of where they can be got. is in the run game.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's it for my
So
keys.
I guess I don't know if Johnny really watched the game, but the only one that he exploited was Sonny Styles on the little wheel routes.
Yeah.
Most of their running backs catches were in the flat, which we were willing to give up, and we were just coming up. Like I wouldn't say that the back completely exposed us. It was just that wheel route, and I don't think that a lot of people actually watched it. Had a little rub play that kind of slowed Sonny down on that too, but
Yeah.
that's something that he has to work through and be better on.
Yeah.
So I
Absolutely.
wouldn't say that it was all of our linebackers because that wasn't the case. Cody Simon's been having one hell of a college football playoff season right now. So
I mean, and Sonny has too, bro. If we're being honest,
yeah,
like
he
Sonny's
has.
been playing well. I don't like. I'm not worried about Sonny in coverage, but I know that it can be exploited.
Right.
And if you have a running back that's really good out of the backfield and catching the ball and stuff, then he can give Sonny some issues. You know what I
I
mean?
just feel like that back's a little bit faster. That's why I'm saying
Oh,
like
definitely.
I'd rather Hancock or somebody else be on him. But my keys to success for Ohio State is kind of goes two ways, man. I'll say this: if they play in cover two, I think Ohio State needs to be aggressive, attacking the seams or running the seams and putting the safeties in conflict, making them choose. I think that's definitely key in the passing game. And then also, if they're going to do that, I think Ohio State, honestly, Will Howard, don't force anything. You don't have to force the Jeremiah. Every time you throw an interception, bro, someone's always wide the hell open. When I say wide the hell open, they wide the hell open. So just understand, if that's the defense that they want to play, take what the defense gives you. It doesn't matter. As long as we get the ring, that's all that matters. Keep the chains moving. Now, if they want to play, man, if they want to do that, I say Ohio State, go ahead, hit the explosive early, get down on them early. And because if they're going to do that, then I feel like you're playing right into Ohio State's game plan, and you make Notre Dame uncomfortable if they go down 2 scores early. Now, I've seen Marcus Freeman. He does a really good job of rallying his troops down up when they've been down and everything. And I know Notre Dame fans will say, hey, well, we were down against Penn State. This ain't Penn State. Penn State, they wide receivers didn't even have one catch. You're not going to get that off against Ohio State. One of the best offenses you went against was Louisville and USC. I would still say Ohio State is way more balanced than both of those teams. And
better.
Yeah,
better.
And better. And then another key for Ohio State's success that I want to say, no matter the game plan or how the defense is going to play us, is Ohio State needs to play a clean game. No penalties, none of the false starts. Don't beat ourselves. That's the key to success on offense as well.
And Mike, that Texas game was an away game, bro.
Yeah.
And the one thing that I noticed that I feel like nobody talks about this when they see it very often, but like I always notice it because you really have no reason to do it other than like you're struggling with the noise. And Ohio State did a silent count that whole game. So what that does automatically is that helps the opponent's defensive line be able to get a jump on your offensive line because now everybody's watching the ball. Everybody's watching the ball for movement instead of the O-line knowing like go on 1 or go on 2. And honestly, that crowd was loud in that game, bro. Like I got to give respect to Texas fan. I know it was in Texas, but I know there was a lot of Ohio State fans there too. But it's funny to me that we had this whole fiasco like the last 3 games about like the Tennessee fans, the Oregon fans, but I didn't hear nothing about like how many Texas fans to Ohio State fans it was in that stadium. But that was the one game where I felt like the crowd was like the biggest impact. Like the Texas fans were crazy. They like made Ohio State do a silent count. So, that's going to account for some of the offensive line penalties You know what I mean? Like some of those false starts and stuff like that are probably going to be fixed just because this game, I would imagine, will be closer to 50-50, or we'll just have a lot of people there who just go to the national championship every year, stuff like that. So, but yeah, I just wanted to point that out about the crowd because you mentioned the penalties, and I do think that some of those penalties were caused by the crowd, which is crazy in a playoff game that's at a neutral site field.
Yeah, I definitely want to see how the crowd is going to be. I know a lot of Ohio State fans was waiting on this. I know some people complaining about the tickets, but Notre Dame fans have not been here since Manti Te'o, so I know that they're going to be out in force as well. So that is interesting to see how the crowd is going to be in this. But that's why I was saying if Ohio State's able to score and go up fast, you have the momentum. And, if Ohio State didn't commit so many penalties and things like that, and put themselves in 3rd and long, maybe they could have took that Texas crowd out of the game sooner. So that's something that I think Ohio State needs to go ahead and do. Start off fast, man. Don't start off slow. Start off fast and win this game. I also, want to say, because I know we just went offense, defense. But this is something that's key for Notre Dame as well, as special teams, man. I think that's
Notre
something.
Dame?
No,
Shit,
not
for
just
Ohio
for
State
Notre.
too.
No, not just for Notre Dame. I think that it's something that Ohio State has to watch out for. I'm
No, for
talking
real.
about
You're
like,
right.
the first matchup against Oregon. If you think Notre Dame ain't watched that, hey, we're gonna kick a little onside, and you not know it. Yeah, I'm expecting that. I'm expecting the whole. We're coming. We're going to come block the punt. I'm expecting things like that. Ohio State needs to be ready for those things because that's definitely going to be one of the keys to success for Notre Dame winning this game is capitalizing on special teams. Now, I feel like Texas was able to flip the field and did a very, very good job of flipping the field every time, having favorable place to start, like basically at the 40 all the time, almost the 40 or the 50. But Ohio State was able to keep up. Will they be able to do that against Notre Dame? I believe so, but we'll see.
I mean, and that's really one of the areas, Mike, that has been the most improved in the postseason for Ohio State because, I mean, you look back to like the Michigan games before that where our special teams was really just putting us in bad spots over and over and over and over again, and everybody talks about the offense and the defense, but people don't really talk about the special teams. Like they honestly played pretty poorly in the Michigan game. The special teams did, especially when you factor in the missed field goals. So, in this game, it is going to be super important. I do think that Ryan Day and his staff has kind of put an emphasis on it enough where they won't make any huge mistakes in this game that would cost Ohio State the game. And Notre Dame is going to try to do some stuff, I think, but I also think that everybody's been talking about that. Like Notre Dame's not going to surprise Ohio State in this game by doing a fake punt. Like they're going to be ready for that. Like there's no way that they don't when everyone is talking about Notre Dame doing this.
Yeah. And I see they talking in the chat saying hopefully the refs aren't completely one-sided with holds like usual. I mean, I think that it is starting to become a national trend now. You got Josh Pate talking about it, where Ohio State is 134 if they do not get any penalties. And our guy Terry has been standing in the paint saying he does not want them. Screw it. We've been doing good without them. We don't need them. And Terry, I'm about to hop on the bandwagon as well. Screw it, man. We don't need the penalties. It is what it is. I don't want to see no laundry on the field. Now, we don't have ACC refs like we have for the past 3. We now have SEC refs, which kind of brings a little nerves to my system. I know some people believe that the SEC refs are some of the best refs. I would disagree with that, but it brings a little nerves to my system, man. I don't know how I feel about these SEC refs, bro.
What worries me, Mike, and this is why I always say, you said I was standing in the paint. This is why I always say it, bro. Like, I do not want the refs to be a part of my football game. I just don't. And I think that's what SEC refs are known for, is making themselves a part of the football game. And that's what kind of worries me about the reffing crew in this game, but this game is different, bro. This game is about leave no doubt. If you're an Ohio State player, coach, fan, whatever, like this game is about leave no doubt. This game can't come down to a ref call. Really, for either team, you don't want that to happen, but like I guess for Ohio State, it's just really that's kind of been the motto this whole year: leave no doubt. Hopefully the reffing crew does not insert themselves into this game and start trying to like call every little nitpick penalty, because that's when things will start to get weird. You know what I mean? Like we know, like both of these teams have a very physical corner that's very handsy. If they start calling those a lot, the game's going to get weird. The game's going to get weird for Davison Igbinosun, and it's going to get weird for, let me see if I can remember it, Leonard Moore, I think, is Notre Dame's true freshman. If I got that wrong, I'm gonna be sorry, bro. But I think Leonard Moore is their true freshman.
No, you talking about the corner? I thought it was like Grayson or something like that, like Gray.
Well, they have one named Gray, but they're young.
I thought he was the handsy one, though.
I don't know. I'm not sure.
But they do have a corner that's handsy. Basically.
Yeah, they do have one that's like just kind of reminds you of Iggy. You know, he's gonna be physical with you. He's gonna get hands on you, and he'll do it all game because they can't call it all game. And if they call it twice or three times, then he'll live with that.
Yeah. Hey, man, I'll tell you this right now. It looked like Johnny is just in there crying his eyes out. Shout out to Johnny in the chat, man. You know, he got to watch both of his rivals in the national championship, man. Johnny, let us know which rival you picking in this game. Which card you jumping in? I'm pretty sure it's the Notre Dame card, as I have seen so many of you. Johnny, we appreciate you always supporting and pulling up, man. Yeah, we love Johnny. Appreciate Asian Posh always pulling up and supporting. Right now, I want to ask you in the chat, let us know, what is your score predictions for the Ohio State Notre Dame game? And as y'all put those in the chat, Terry has something to tell y'all about his score prediction, because he said it in the space earlier today.
Yeah, I like my score prediction is going to be disrespectful, man. I don't think that Notre Dame is going to look like they should be on the field with Ohio State for a good part of this game. I'm not going to say at all. They'll come out. They might make a couple plays. But I think this game is going to look something like 38 to like 10. I think it's going to get really bad. And I just think that this Ohio State team is clicking. I think that they're going to play their best game in the national championship, which is what you really should do. You know what I mean? And I think that our defense is not about to give up hardly anything in this game. That's what's got me thinking this game is going to really be a blowout, because I think that we have one of the best defenses, not in college football this year. We have one of the best defenses in college football in the last like 10 years, 15 years. And that's with that's with guys who are going to be longtime NFL players on this defense. This is not just some good players, you know what I mean? So that's where I'm at with it, Mike.
I got you. My score prediction is going to be, I don't know which one I want to go with. I want to go either 31-13 or 31-17. Let's go 31-13, man. Jim Knows has been cooking. I put out in Jim Knows we trust. The defense has been lights out, and he just continues to come with a game plan. And the fact that we see Caleb Downs out there getting guys lined up, getting guys set up, out there triggering, being quick. I mean, shout out to Caleb Downs. He has been doing an amazing job. So I'm going to go 31-13. And I think that, you know, possibly we'll see, you know, that man coverage come out in the beginning, right? They test that. Ohio State might get up, and then that's when they go with the cover 2 look, and then the game slows down a little bit, man. So that's what I'm expecting, a 31-13 game. You know, Ohio State wins the national championship. So, you know, everybody tune in. Make sure you let us know. And the poll is still up in the chat. Let's see who everybody picked. We got 89% of the chat of the votes believe Ohio State's winning the national championship. Only 11% believe Notre Dame will win, man. So it's always go Bucks, man, while we out here. Make sure y'all smash the like and subscribe button while you're here. Terry, there are a lot of narratives going around right now. Lou Holtz just believed that Ohio State's culture is not better than Notre Dame's. Even though we have been seeing a big culture shift of Ohio State and how that culture has been working throughout the playoffs. And, I don't think that we have taken anything away from Notre Dame's culture at all from the Ohio State side. And then you also have, a disgruntled former Ohioan, we'll just say, butthurt Malik Zaire, saying that he'll bet, but won't take any bets. What do you think about these narratives from these people? You got to come off mute.
My bad. Anyway, somebody knocked on my door, bro. I'm like, what? Bro, I had to go answer the door. Anyway, the narrative from Lou Holtz, the freaking tweet or whatever, the quote from him is really, that's nasty, bro. That's like the most nasty quote he could have, like, it's really bitch shit, Mike. It really is. Like, I hate to say that about an old man. I really don't think he even said that. I think somebody else put that out there in his name because, well, he said that if Ohio State wins, it's basically because we let them win. Like, what are you talking about, bro? Right. Like, Ryan Day really might go out here and beat y'all's ass. And you're talking about you're trying to save his career. Like, Don't do that. Don't do that, man. That, I don't know. I hate saying that about that old man, but like, dude, come on.
Man, here's the thing, man. This is how I was raised. If you talk it, you got to back it up. And as a man, you know what I'm saying? No matter how old you are, sometimes you just got to know when to shut the heck up. One thing I don't believe is you should give Ohio State any bulletin board material. It does look like Notre Dame has, because I saw the Will Howard interview and him talking about, people keep talking about me not being a good quarterback. Keep on. And we've seen Will when he has that fire in his eye. And when we've heard they had a really good couple practice and Will was lighting it up. So normally when we hear that, Will's coming out on fire. And like I said, one thing that has been good is in these games, just that same thing, those same trends continue to show themselves, as we prepare for the teams. We done prepare for just about every defense, going up into this game. So I'm expecting the coaches to have a good game plan and Will to go ahead and solidify himself. And here's the thing. You want to talk and say Will Howard was the worst quarterback in the college football playoffs. Well, didn't he outplay Quinn Ewers? Definitely had a higher completion percentage and QBR than him. We can say the same thing about Riley Leonard as well. But okay, here's the thing. I'm going to tell you, Will Howard, like I said, he's been paying attention. And if he wins this national championship, the one thing that he's going to do when he gets that mic is say, a lot of people wanted to say shit about me as a quarterback. Now you got to put national championship in front of that.
I can't wait for that, bro, because I'm one of them people. I was talking crazy about Will Howard. But listen, I'm willing to be wrong. And I said from the very beginning, I said, if I'm wrong about this cat, if I'm wrong about this dude right here, we're winning the national championship. That's where we're at right now. And I think Ohio State's going to take care of business.
But, I mean, I think we both have said, like, we was waiting on Will Howard to show us. That's what we wanted. It didn't matter who the quarterback was. It didn't even matter if it was Devin Brown. They had to show us. And I believe that Will Howard showed us. He's definitely impressed me because, my biggest thing on the whole transfer thing was more about the Ryan Day developing quarterbacks thing than anything, right? That was my whole big thing on it. But Will Howard has been a guy, and just the way you hear when a defensive guy like Jack Sawyer and what he said about Will Howard, that's what Kyle wasn't. That's what we had talked about all season long about what Kyle wasn't and how much it hurt the team. And Will Howard, you see him after Jack run, going there, punching him. Like, to have that relationship with the whole team, yeah, Will Howard's the leader. That's the guy that we needed, man, for sure.
I agree. I can't say anything, but I agree, man.
You got anything
and they got to
else?
go take care of business. I need one more from Will Howard. I need one more from bro, and then he can go on, do whatever he wants to do. I need one more out of him, and they need to go take care of business. I think they're going to, man. The team seems like they're locked in. And, you know, Will Howard had his press conference. He had his little moment. He was like, job's not finished. He thought he was Kobe. Job not finished. I'm like, all right, hey, show me then, man. Show me, Will. I don't got nothing else, Mike. I mean, that's it for me, bro.
Yeah, let the people know where they can follow you at, Terry.
At CFB_stop on Twitter. That's where I'm at. That's pretty much where you're going to find me, man. And then anywhere on Best Damn Media, sometimes, whether it be the morning show, what the hell is the morning show, Mike? The morning
Buckeye Roast, man. Come on,
yeah,
gotta get your Buckeye Roast.
I forgot, yeah, but hey, listen, Buckeye Roast sometimes. And then here with Mike every Wednesday, man. That's where you're going to find me. We'll be here next week, too. I can't wait it might be a celebration. It might.
Yeah. For sure. Yeah. If you are not subscribed to Best Damn Media, make sure that you get subscribed right now. Hit that notification bell so you know when we go live. We have shows in the morning. We have shows on the weekend. Make sure that you're pulling up, man. I gotta get out of here, man. My wife talking about you want some Bevo. Yeah, I take Bevo again. Yeah. I like that. So if you want to follow me, you can follow me at 216_Wildboy on the X app. You can also find us, me and Terry, every Wednesday right here. We will recap, win or lose. We will recap this national championship game. You can also find me on the Voice of College Football Ohio State channel. Go subscribe over there. We will be live right after the national championship game, breaking down the Ohio State and Notre Dame championship game. So make sure you tune in there. And with that, we appreciate y'all. This platform could not be what it is without you all. Make sure y'all like, y'all share, because we will still be bringing y'all. Terry, you still want to keep it going during the off season?
I'll be here, man.
We're going to be standing right here in the paint during the offseason right here with me and Terry. So make sure y'all subscribe,
this fucking Natty. That's what we're going to be doing.
There we go. And with that, y'all, we are. Welcome to the Fans Ed Sports Show. But thank God I'm not a